Hello, welcome back to the WHL Show. My name is Gabe Neumann, and there's been a lot that's happened since I last saw you guys. Last week, we had a rerun of a previous episode, so if you guys tuned in, really appreciate you watching that. Today, I am back, and we're going to be covering a bunch of different stuff. We had the World Juniors coming up, so those are going to be something that we're going to talk about in detail, as well as the Kubota 2022 CHL/NHL Top Prospects game. We're going to talk about that roster, and then we'll also do just what we always do and go over a brief recap over the week, talk about the rankings of each WHL team, the top scorers, the goalies, stuff like that. We'll cover all of it. So today we're going to jump into the World Juniors. With December well underway, we're looking at the next big event in the hockey calendar, so which is going to be the 2022 IIHF World Junior Championship. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes. I'm not. So it was postponed last year. If you followed the championship, you knew over this last summer, I helped cover for Team USA, things like that. So the teams played in, I think it was August. August 2022 is when the tournament was last played. Now this year we're going back to normal. We're going to be playing I say we as if I'm playing. The teams will be playing and competing regularly as scheduled in December. So that is definitely going to be an exciting thing because it's an annual holiday tradition. The last so we are still awaiting for most of the rosters to be announced. However, Team Canada did announce their rosters, and so I have a list of the WHL players that will be joining Team Canada there. Team USA has also announced their rosters, but we have not, or the roster, but we have not. We will not be seeing any WHL players joining Team USA. Also, Team Czechia has Tomáš Suchanek and also Adam Ventura. And then I have also Mark Alsher from the Portland Winterhawks, the first two names being from the Tri-City Americans. So those players, as far as I know, they are the players from the WHL that will be going to Team Czechia. I probably am missing a few, so I will also be looking into that. So if you know that I miss a few names, feel free to let me know and I will update that. So those are the only rosters that I have found so far. But as we get more information on those, I will definitely update you. We have Team Canada, those. So we had, how many was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams, I think, unless I miscounted. 7 WHL teams that are going to be sending their players over to the to represent Canada this year. From the Thunderbirds, we have 4 players: Thomas Milic, who is the goaltender, defenseman Nolan Allen, defenseman Kevin Korchinski, and then Reed Schaefer, who is a forward. From the Silvertips, the Everett Silvertips, we have the defenseman Olin Zellweger. From the Kamloops Blazers, the forward Caden Benkier, and then forward Logan Stankoven. From the Regina Pats, forward Connor Bedard. From the Kelowna Rockets, forward Colton Dock. Oil Kings will be technically, so Dylan Gunther is he last played with the Arizona Coyotes, or he's been playing with the Arizona Coyotes. He played with the Edmonton Oil Kings last season and was named to the roster, and he is obviously a notable alumni from the WHL from last season. And then from the Vancouver Giants, we have Zach Ostapchuk, who is also a forward. Now, they will be playing from, I think it's December 26th. Yeah, so it typically begins on December 26th, which is known as Boxing Day, and finishes during the first week of the new year. And it's also definitely something that hockey fans are super excited for, and you should definitely tune into. As the more rosters get announced, I'm sure there's going to be more players named throughout the week and as time goes on. So make sure that you stay updated, and I'll make sure to keep you guys updated once I have those names. We have so next week I will make sure that I will give a recap of any new information that we might have received. Now for the 2023 Kubota CHL/NHL Top Prospects game. This is a game that is very important as we have a lot of NHL players who have played in the CHL, who have played from this game. So these are top prospects who are going into the NHL draft for the 2023 NHL draft. And so the Canadian Hockey League announced that 40 players from the CHL are going to be competing in the Top Prospects game. 19 of these are going to be from the WHL, who I will be covering today. Now, it is going to be on January 25th at the Langley Events Center, and it showcases, as I was talking about, the top 40 CHL players who are eligible for the 2023 NHL draft, and it's from across the entire CHL. So players from the OHL, QJMHL, is that right? QMJHL? Yeah, QMJHL. There we go. I knew I messed it up. QMJHL, and then also the WHL will be competing in this top game. So these are names that you should really pay attention to, names that are going to be making an impact in the NHL and also just in the future, and that are almost certainly going to be called in the 2023 NHL draft, which is rapidly approaching. Feels like it's right around the corner. So goaltenders, we have Carson Bjarnason, Scott Ratzlaff, and Jackson Unger. Bjarnason from Brandon, Ratzlaff from Seattle, and then Unger from Moose Jaw. These players are, or these goalies will be for representing at those games. Now, defensemen, we have Luca Cagnoni from the Portland Winterhawks, Lucas Dragosevic from Tri-City Americans, Tanner Molendick from Saskatoon, Caden Price from Kelowna, Connor Bedard from Regina, and Zach Benson from Winnipeg. So those are, oh wait, I started going into forwards there. My bad. So and for defenseman and at Caden Price, I was like, Connor Bedard is not a defenseman. Sorry. So defenseman ending at Caden Price from Kelowna, and then forwards, sorry, are gonna be Connor Bedard from Regina, Zach Benson from Winnipeg, Andrew Crystal from the Rockets, Kelowna Rockets, Nate Danielson from the Brandon Wheat Kings, Riley Height from the Prince George Cougars, Samuel Honzek from the Vancouver Giants, Kalen Lind from Red Deer Rebels, Jaden Lipinski from Vancouver Giants, Nico Majatovic from Seattle, I nearly just said Seattle, Washington, Seattle Thunderbirds, Grayson Strachan from Seattle Thunderbirds, and then Braden Yeager from Moose Jaw and Cohen Zemer from the Prince George Cougars. So the last game that we had for the CHL NHL Top Prospects game was held in Kitchener in March 2022. We had Team White defeated Team Red 3-1. Jagger Furcus from the Moose Jaw Warriors, and then also Shane Wright, who obviously wasn't WHL but is a notable name in last year's draft. They were both later selected by the Seattle Kraken in last year's draft. In all, 38 players who've competed in last year's prospects game were chosen. So 38 in the NHL draft. So 38 out of 40 players were chosen in the 2022 NHL draft. Now, headline by Wright and fourth overall. Since the reintroduction of the CHL NHL Top Prospects game in 1996, we've had a bunch of 15 players who were selected first overall in the NHL draft, including Nico Hischier, Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Marc-Andre Fleury, bunch of different names that are, of course, super notable, or people who have gone on and just obviously made a name for themselves, and they were making a name for themselves and of course those weren't WHL, not all of those were WHL players, but it's just an important thing to consider when looking at this game. This Top Prospects game is so many alumni from this game. Like last year we had 38 of the 40 players getting drafted. It's the rosters are definitely every guy on this roster is somebody to pay attention to. So if you're from Portland, you should keep an eye on Luca Cagnoni. If you're from Seattle, all these guys, exactly. So, you get it. So, just pay attention to those rosters and keep an eye out for that game when it starts. I think it is slated for January 25th, which is actually 3 days before my birthday. So that's cool. So January 25th, 2023 is when that game is going to be held. That is definitely something that once it gets closer, I'll be talking about more, and I'll probably go into more. I'll do a deep dive on the WHL players that will be going to those. Will be going to that game. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. And now that was basically just really breezing over the World Juniors and then the Top Prospects game. So, of course, as those get closer, with the World Juniors being first and then the
Top Prospects game being second. They're pretty close together, December and January. As those dates get closer, I will definitely be talking about those more. If requested or if desired, I'll probably do like I mentioned just a second ago, a deep dive into those rosters and talk more about each player and how they have been doing, what their stats are, etc., and what to look out for when watching them. Now, looking at the more immediate things that have happened, just to recap rather than looking into the future, we have the players of the week for the last week that just occurred. So we have Tyson Laventure of the Lethbridge Hurricanes. So Tyson he played 3 games last week, and in those games he had 7 points, so 2 goals and 5 assists. He was drafted by the Prince Albert Raiders in 2018, traded to Lethbridge in 2021 and December 2021. So he's been with the team for about a year. He had a +4 rating over his 3 appearances the last week, and helped the Hurricanes win all 3 of their games in the process. Now he had so right now he is leading the Hurricanes in assists. He has 18 assists and ranks second among the club in scoring with 28 points. So he has 10 goals and 18 assists. Now, I do have a short video for you to watch of him. He is just a recap of his hat tricks. Try to give you, it wasn't a recap of a hat trick that he completed last week because obviously he only had 2 goals. But this is from earlier. And I wanted to give you guys a good example of, let's hit the right button here, a good example of who he is and why he earned Player of the Week here. So let's go ahead and add this correctly. So as you can see, amazing. So that was a hat trick reel, obviously, from a little bit ago, not last week, like I said. But yeah, he's a cool player to watch, and he definitely is he's at the top of his team for scoring. Definitely good. A good choice for Player of the Week. Now, Goaltender of the Week was Dylan Ernst of the Kamloops Blazers. He played 4 games and had a 1.11 goals against average and a .957 save percentage, which is obviously incredible. He earned the weekly honor for the second time in the past 3 weeks, which is also amazing. And he had stopped. So, oops, sorry. I lost my place rating. So Dylan Ernst is rated as a C prospect by NHL Central Scouting ahead of the 2023 NHL draft. So that means that he is looking at going around the 3rd rounds pass, or the 3rd to. I hope you can understand what I'm saying here. Past 3rd passed around. Words stopped working for me. So sorry. And so he was originally selected by Kamloops. He was drafted by Kamloops in the 2nd round of the 2019 WHL draft. Right now, he has a 2.54 goals against average overall and a .912 save percentage overall, 4 shutouts, and that's across 51 WHL games. So I do have a highlight draft reel for him, so I will also show you that. And then we're going to jump into the 2022 Kia CHL top rankings, and that's definitely going to be a fun thing to cover. So first, we're going to talk about, or I'm going to show you a quick video of Dylan Ernst. Come on. There we go. Cool. Sorry. So I always love goalies. Love talking about them. Love watching goalie highlights because it's just something that it's just there's something about them. Man, I could go on. So Dylan Ernst definitely a highlight goaltender to watch. Excuse me, and had an incredible last week. And so for the second time this this season so far, he has been named WHL Goaltender of the Week, which is incredible. So well deserved. Congrats to him. Now, for the 2022-23 Kia CHL Top 10, we are going into Week 11. I was about to show it on my fingers, but I only have 10, so that didn't work out. Week 11, we have 6. There it is. I can count. We have 6 WHL teams who have hit those rankings. Number 1 right now is the Seattle Thunderbirds. They have earned the top spot nationally for the first time this season. They closed out the week with 7 of 8 points to push their undefeated and regulation streak to 6 games. They capped off the weekend with a 5-2 win over the Vancouver Giants that saw the squad score 5 unanswered goals, and 4 of those were from the offensive middle frame. And a noted player from the team was Montreal Canadiens draftee Jared Davison, who pushed the pace for Seattle as he tallied twice. So incredible for him, incredible for them. They are first this week. The second WHL team that hit the list is going to be the Winnipeg Ice, who are number 2 actually right now. They're maintaining their first place standing in the WHL at the moment, but they are number 2 overall. They had 6 goals apiece in wins over Spokane, the Spokane Chiefs, and the Regina Pats. They continued to tantalize the scouting community. The former contest saw 2023 draft prospect Zach Benson. He shined with a 4-point performance and his first ever hat trick, which is incredible. Benson is a early first round projected draftee, so that's going to be definitely another name that we should all look out for and keep an eye on because he has been shining and will continue to shine, especially with the draft coming up. And he is also one of the players that was named to the roster for the 2023 Kubota CHL/NHL Top Prospects game. Now we have the Saskatoon Blades, which are the 3rd WHL team to hit these rankings, and they are number 4 overall on the list. They've gone up. Now they had two victories over the past week. They extended their win streak to 6. They had a 5-4 overtime winner against the Brandon Wheat Kings and a 9-0 win over the Prince Albert Raiders. I'm reeling from that fact alone. That's incredible. The Toronto Maple Leafs 2022 7th round selection, Brandon Lisowski, my bad. He had a 5-point performance, which is a season high record. That's awesome. 5-point performance, counting 3 goals, 2 assists. And he also right now sits second in the Blades with 30 points in 26 games played, which is awesome. Now, the 4th team on this list today, which is coming in at number 5 on the CHL list, is going to be the Portland Winterhawks, who have also gone up. They have a trio of victories over the last week, which was really great. They had a 4-3 shootout over the Seattle Thunderbirds. The player highlighted this week was Dante Januzzi, who had a season-high record of 37 shots turned away in that win, and he also improved to a 13-3-2-0 record on the season and a .904 save percentage and a 2.86 goals against average to rank among WHL leaders. So he was incredible. Always definitely a major part of what makes the Winterhawks so fun to watch. And also in shootouts, if you know me, let me try this again. If you know him, you know that he loves shootouts. So he's really good at them and is really just confident with those. And he ended up winning, and as expected. So I could obviously go on and on about the shootouts and also Dante, but I'm not gonna bore y'all with that today because I feel like I do that every episode. So we're not gonna go too deep into that today. But Winterhawks are number 5 on the list right now, and number 5, right? Yeah, number 5 on the list right now, and we will cross my fingers to see if they go up, and we'll see. Now, those are the last for the top 10, but we do have honorable mentions such as the Kamloops Blazers and then the Red Deer Rebels. The excuse me, the Kamloops Blazers had 3 victories of the week. They had a pair against the rival Victoria Royals, and also the Red Deer Rebels had 3 wins this week. They were second overall in the WHL with second overall of the WHL with a showing of 21-5-1-3. Wait, is that right? Yeah, that was right. Okay, great. So they are honorable mention of the week, which is great. Now we're going to go into points leaders, which obviously is not going to have changed super much from the last time that we covered this. I like going over these just because I like to see who's going up, who's going down. And this week, of course, they are pretty much about the same. And for points leaders for skaters, I'll be covering the top 2 for each category that we cover. Forgot the word for category. For each category that we cover. And then for goalies, we will go over the top 3. Just because I think, or for the skaters, usually number 3 is tied with like 3 or 4 players, 2 to 3, 4. So it's about like they have about the same numbers. So top 2 are definitely, I think that's going to be just easier for us to cover today. So in points, it's the same. We have Connor Bedard. He has 64 from the Regina Pats, obviously. He has 64 points in total. Right behind him is Andrew Crystal of the Kelowna Rockets with 47. Now for goals, Bedard also reigns number 1, 27 points with 27 goals overall. Number 2 is Kayuchas. He has 22 points. He's from the Red Deer Rebels. He has 22. I keep saying points. 22 goals for coming in at number 2. Now for assists, same Connor Bedard, number 1. He has 37 assists. And number 2 is also a player from the Regina Pats. He has 32. That is going to be Stanislav Svozil, which is an incredible name. And he is number 2, same team as Bedard, and is number 2 and 4 assists. So definitely a strong team there. Good, 2 strong players from the same team. Now into goalies. We have goaltender Austin Elliott from the Saskatoon Blades he's number 1 in goals against average with a 1.61 average. Number 2 is our goaltender of the week, Dylan Ernst from the Kamloops Blazers. He has a 2.01 goals against average. And then number 3 would be from Red Deer with a 2.20 is going to be Rhett Stesser. Now for save percentage, it's actually pretty similar. The first 2 are the exact same as goals against average. First 2 I have for number 1 from the Blades is going to be Austin Elliott again with a .936 save percentage. Dylan Ernst, number 2 from the Blazers, a .932 save percentage. And then from number 3, that's where it gets to differentiate a bit. It's going to be with a .922 save percentage from the Lethbridge Hurricanes is going to be Harrison Minigan. So definitely same-ish. I know Austin Elliott for sure has been reigning number 1 in goalies through the league, and also of course Connor Bedard with scoring, assists, goals, etc. Goals, and you know what I mean. So same-ish players on the top rankings, and we will definitely we'll be going. I'm planning for the future episodes. I'll talk more specifically about the differences in the rankings and how they compared to this week / last week. And it's definitely something that I think will be something that's really cool to look at. Now, just a brief, that's pretty much all that I have for today's episode. The last week, as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, we had a rerun of a previous episode. So again, thank you guys if you tuned into that. The week before that, however, I did interview Kyle Krinkovic, who from the Seattle Thunderbirds, who was a pleasure to talk to. So if you want to check out his interview, check out episode 11. And that was definitely something that I really enjoyed doing. If you want to see another player from either the Thunderbirds or from anywhere, honestly, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. I have a website actually that will be something that is a good resource for you guys. And here, I'm going to share my screen really quick. So it's going to be here. It's right here. I put it on the screen as well. My name. So G Neumann and then .card.co. You can read a little bit about me here. And then you can talk, here you can see my writing, and then you can also see the show. So here I have obviously the link to the show, and also previous guests and what what episodes they've been on. And also if you want to request a player appearance, you can just click on this link right here and it'll take you to a Google form where you can fill out a quick response letting me know. You can also give me optional feedback if you'd like. You can just fill out a quick response there, letting me know how I'm doing, and also if you want to see anybody specific. So the link is going to be right there, as well as my Twitter and Instagram, where you can always contact me, always message me, mention me in a tweet, things like that. So feel free to give me a follow there to see any updates of when I do bring on a guest. I am definitely looking forward to a couple episodes that I have coming up with a few guests from various teams. So hopefully we get those scheduled soon and we'll have awesome content for you guys to check out. Okay. So thank you so much for tuning in this week. We talked about a bunch of different stuff. And also thank you again for bearing with me as I'm still learning I'm still working on talking live, because as you can tell, talking live is something that I have to work on. I kind of get off track a lot. Or I'm not, for example, as you can see right now, I sometimes lose what I'm about to say. So thank you for bearing with me as I learn and grow. I feel like I say that every episode, but just want to reiterate, you guys are amazing. And I really do love looking at this. I love doing the research for each episode and looking at hockey and the players and their journeys going forward. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Make sure you check out the website there, and then my Twitter and Instagram. And I will hopefully, fingers crossed, see you guys next week on Tuesday at 7 p.m.